If you're talking, you are muted. Well, good morning, everyone. Looks like Jamie may be having a few difficulties. He's trying to get it together. I'm assuming. I just happened to be here. Mr. Earl, hey, Mr. Earl, how you doing? Hey, Michelle. Hey, Tanya. How are you all doing? As soon as he gets his devices reconnected, I'm going to give him the reins. But I'm sure hoping everybody is doing okay this morning, this good old Wednesday morning. Just know that Powell is going to speak this morning around 10 o'clock. Definitely you want to keep that in mind. Yes, we'll look at Palantir while we're here. Happy midweek, Janae, Adrian, hey, Tamar, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Um, I guess I have to assume he's coming back. He's got the control of the reins. Well, maybe he took that off too. So Wednesday morning. That's not the song. I know it's not, but we got a lot happening into the week. Let's go and see if we can find us something real quick to look at on. Let's see what we got. Oh, I need to share so that way we can make sure we're sharing our screen. Let's look at Palantir. I put a note in in our Telegram group. I put a note. There was an article in about Palantir that their Army contract win sends stock surging. I'll put this into the chat here as well. If I do that, it's going to not do right. So let's try another way. Let's try another way. Remove. Here we go. This is the link about Palantir. I'll go right back to that here. And then we'll go back to it again. Okay, let's add ourselves back to the stage. So that news caused there to be a little jump right here in the stock. Turns out though that it ran right into some resistance because that's where it is, right? We'll see what happens after that. You do this kind of thing when you get this kind of a pop, you may want to look to see what we do from here. We could look at some put credit spreads potentially underneath this equilibrium. Equilibrium is basically like a support area on the chart, and this would potentially have us going up, but we've got some resistance up here, so it might be good to see. The market's going to open in about a minute. Well, less than a minute. It just ding, ding, ding. I just heard it. And let's see what happens now that the market is open. Let's take us to a smaller time frame. I need to add 5 minutes on here as a thing. Okay. Yeah, we're up here in some resistance. All this up here is resistance. I think I'd rather see it on the 15. We were fooling up with Palantir a while back when it wasn't when it was they were had still had contracts, but they weren't really doing anything. And then now they've made a nice little pop here in the premium zone. It's pulling back a little bit. So it may be sense to watch, maybe see if it pulls back to the 20. This orange is a 20. Y'all know the 20 period moving average will pull the stock back in, and then it may bounce off of there and move some more because that happens. Yes, it does, but we need to maybe watch a little bit. Just definitely if you're doing a selling trade, you want to watch a minute and see what happens. Let's see where SPX opened. We had a gap up open this morning on SPX. Looks like there's a gap here that it's trying to get into from these 2 days, right? It's right in that gap right now. It jumped right up in there. Maybe it'll fill it. Gap fills are weird, but sometimes you ride through the gap fill. In a short term, this is where you may have a shorter term play. If you're, again, that's for buyers, not necessarily for sellers, but keep that in mind. Okay, that's where SPX is this morning. Jumped into the gap, jump into the gap, baby. Yep, let's see if SPY should be looking about the same because they run together. They run together. Well, SPY didn't have that big of a gap. Probably didn't gap up open because of the fact that we have pre-market and post-market here that we don't have on SPX. If we change it to the daily chart, we can see that there is a gap up a little bit from yesterday. Right? Let's go see if Jamie's back. He can take the reins. Like, really, he's not even here. What's happening? What's happening in Wisconsin? What's happening in Wisconsin? Maybe I should do like he do me. Y'all hold on. I'm gonna do like he do me and start calling. Y'all know in the middle of my phone call, he'll call me, right? Let me find him in this phone so I can call him and be like, what is going on? Y'all know he'll call me in a minute. Uh-oh, not Amy, Jamie. Let's see. I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna put it on speakerphone so y'all can hear. I'm with the antics. Okay. How about he go try not answer?
Hello?
Bruh,
I don't know
Jamie,
what you did, but
I didn't do nothing. Don't try to blame me.
you gonna let me finish my sentence or no?
No, I'm not gonna let you finish your sentence. Go ahead. What did you need? Go ahead. What say what you were gonna say. Everybody
Okay.
can hear you, by the way.
So congratulations. I'm glad they can hear me.
Okay. Can y'all hear him?
So I was in StreamYard logging in, and then when I started talking, I saw Earl H say good morning after I said good morning. But anyway, when you logged in, I heard this click and it knocked me offline.
You were muted.
So you talk,
I made a statement. I
that's
said
not
if
what
you're
I'm saying.
I said if you're talking, you're muted. Because I saw you there.
Right. But when you popped on, I heard a click, and all of a sudden, StreamYard and everything just went offline on my end.
Okay,
So
so if you go back
I'm
to the main screen, you should be able to get like the invite guests or whatever.
rebooting right now.
You had to reboot. It did all that.
Yes.
Ah la la. Okay.
Remember when I said, hey man, I don't like StreamYard, there's something wrong with it. You was like, oh, it's the best thing on planet Earth. Remember that? Okay, this is an example of how I used to listen to the tech guy, but when I didn't even have it.
StreamYard works for us. StreamYard works for us. Okay, hurry up.
It works for you.
Okay, bye. Bye.
Bye, ma'am. I'm trying to get back in.
Okay, hurry up. Okay, I don't know if y'all heard that. He talking about he trying to get back in. He said he act like I kicked him out. I don't think that's what happened. I don't think that's what happened. But okay, we'll continue on down our path. Either way, let's go see what's. Let me share my screen again. I didn't come to the call prepared to do the call, so I just came here to be an onlooker. Here we go. I came here to onlook. Okay, I wanted to see what Spy was doing here. First thing in Demerton. Wanted to see what Spy was doing this morning. Okay. Let me go grab us some information. And hopefully he won't come and we won't say all the same stuff because that's what happens. Okay. Here we are. I think we're sharing. Powell rate cuts likely at some point this year. At some point this year. Way probably it's going to be like November. Oh, we're cutting the rates. The Fed chair plans to tell lawmakers that interest rate cuts are likely in 2024, but that the central bank will proceed cautiously. Okay, tech lead stock higher as Powell reinforces Fed caution. He's going to speak at 10 o'clock, which is 20 more minutes, 25 more minutes. So keep that in mind. Nikki Haley is going to drop out of race for White House. We need some people to stay in there. Tech interest sell off. Powell on Capitol Hill. Yada yada. Stock surge to record highs. Doesn't mean we're in a bubble. No, it doesn't mean that. Okay, so if we're looking then at our pre-market stuff, it says the Dow rises 200 points as stock market tries to rebound from the sell-off, which I guess happened yesterday. Sell-off happened yesterday. I've been busy earning my keep as a professor. So during the day, I'm head down, trying to get these kids ready for the test. So in our pre-market, the all three of our futures, the Dow Jones is up, S&P is up, Nasdaq are all up, 0.44, 0.55%, and 0.78% respectively. Right in Europe is all green over there. European markets are higher as investors digest UK budget statements, and Asia markets reverse early declines to mostly rise. Hong Kong stocks lead the gains. This is almost like the opposite of what it was yesterday, right? Opposite of what it was yesterday. Calendar. Today is Wednesday, and we've got non-farm employment change came out. Let's see, what did that come out? It came out a little hotter than forecast. They thought it was going to be as high as 149,000, but it's only 140. But it's higher than it was previously. So I guess it's red from the standpoint it wasn't the forecast, but it's higher than it was. Fed Chair Powell is going to testify at 10 o'clock. That's what I just talked about. Jolt's job openings also comes out at 10. Final wholesale inventories, crude oil inventories at 10:30. FOMC daily is speaking at 12, and the beige book comes out at 2. Powell will speak today. He's also going to speak tomorrow. So keep that in mind with whatever trades you're thinking about putting on for the week, that Powell will speak. I don't want to speculate, but I feel like some of the pump this morning, the early pump at 9:30, is only like setting up for him to say what he gonna say, and then it comes back around again. I won't don't necessarily quote me nothing as investment advice, but I feel like it might be a pump, 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 pump it up. Let's see what's back on SPX. That's not SPX, that's PX. It ran right into this gap and didn't want to go up there too much further. Didn't go in too much further into the gap, right? I don't have Adam's numbers, but I can assume that he does. And I still don't see Jamie is on the call. This is unreal because he should be there by now. Okay, so let's go look at Twitter. He probably has all these things already, and I don't. But here we go. Well, Twitter, we'll see what is on the dealio with Adam. Notifications we should be able to find. Adam Mancinte. Yesterday there was a 7 point gap between the two. Today I think it may be about 5, but we can look to see actually what is the gap between SPX and ES. That way I'm not guessing. I'm really doing it. Did y'all see there was some news about SoFi yesterday that uh, the head of SoFi did something weird, and they were thinking it was going to cause some blowback, causing some blowback. Okay, let's see. The ES is at 51.17 and this is at 51.07, so it's about a 10 point gap between the two. So let's go look here. He said no time wasted. Today's 51.19 first target was hit. Da, 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 da. This is okay. We got to pull 10, we got to take 10 off of these numbers in order for them to be SPX numbers. I'm going to do them both because of the fact that now since he opened, we've got some numbers here that we can look at. Y'all get to see the process real time. How does this work? How do we create this information, right? This is what we do. This is what we do. I take this and I take away the 10 from the gap, 5109. I think that's what I just typed. Yep, was the first target. Change this to SPX. Dips, lock plummet, 5116 to 18. So next bottom, 5104. So that's 5095 and 5086 are supports now. I'll put XSP over here too in a second. SPX, that's an X. It doesn't have the 5063. I'll read you what it says after I fix all the numbers. 5110s. What did you just do? There we go. Okay, let me put XSP up here for today, which looks like support is what, 508 on the put side, and it's going up as high as 512 on the call side. Okay, here we go with this. No time wasted. In today's 5109 first target just hit in SPX. The dips always end in a violent, rapid short squeeze, and was the case today. If you're long, lock in your partials here. Let runners go. 5116 and 5116 to 18 is next up. The bottoms in, if that clears, it's a big resistance. 5116 and 18 is a big resistance. I'm not sure what we're at right now, but he said that's a big resistance. Let's see where SPX is right now. 5108 is where it is right now, right? So go back to where I was. I was here. There we go. Yesterday was a rare second red in a row for SPX. It hasn't gone 3 red days since January the 3rd. 5063 reclaim was needed to start the squeeze, which he said it did that up to back test 5110, which is where we are right now, basically, as posted at 345 yesterday, and we've run $35 from there. This is all the Adam Mancini information. I need to copy this. There we go. That's what we got for Adam. Okay, good morning. If you got some trades we need to look at, go ahead and put those into the chat. If you should have some of your credit spreads, depending on how they play through, you may be able to close them today. If you get enough movement in the right direction, go ahead and close stuff off. You don't have to wait and hope for Friday to come. Go ahead and take your money off the table. Good morning, Lisa. How we doing? How are we doing? I feel like I'm so thrown off. This is weird. I do this every day. I think, but I also put myself in the mindset when I'm doing it every day. And today there's no mindset today. I'm just like, rah. Okay. Like I wasn't ready. Wasn't ready. Let's see what we had for earnings. Ay, ay, ay. This is what we got for earnings today. Yesterday, after market close, well, yeah, we had CrowdStrike, which I think did pretty good. I saw people talking about it. ChargePoint and Ross, all those were good yesterday. Well, no, I would say all were good. That's who had earnings. I didn't hear anybody mention Ross or ChargePoint. I would maybe want to see what ChargePoint actually did. This morning we had Abercrombie and Fitch that may be worth looking at. JD.com, Foot Locker, EVgo, Camels. Those are all today. After market closes, we're going to have Victoria's Secret, Honest, None of these are really Rush and OVO. I'm not sure if y'all know any of these other ones. I don't. And then tomorrow morning we're gonna have Kroger in Burlington and Big Lots, American Eagle and BJ's. All those are ones that people. Bit Farms I think goes with the mining, goes along with crypto related stuff. But Kroger seems to be somewhat anticipated, and Big Lots, right? So let's go look at. I'm gonna go look at what is it? Abercrombie and Fitch, Charge Point. Let's go look at those. Turn this back to a single. Let's look Abercrombie and Fitch, see what they did with their earnings. Well, kind of right. It was this morning, right? Seems like it was kind of they've been in their resistance area and they pulled right on back. Let me go to the daily chart and see what we see. Well, this is today. This is today's chart. It's still in an uptrend though. Notice when I put my mouse here in the area there, we still have green, that it's still upwards, maybe pulling back a little bit, but it's still got an upward trend. All three of these moving averages fanned up also means it is still got some, it's still in the upward trend as far as on the daily chart goes. All right, still got some upward movement. Oh, I hear somebody. I, I hear somebody. I've covered a lot of territory, but I'm gonna give you the mic. The mic sounds nice. Check one. So you go come over here silent. That's what we're doing. Silence.
Oh,
This,
you talking to me?
who I'm gonna be talking to?
I
It's
don't
just
even
me.
know. I'm telling y'all, this is how the zombie apocalypse is gonna get started.
The zombie. You're gonna be the first zombie.
Nobody listens to the tech guys.
Oh, ay,
Nobody.
ay, 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 ay. CrowdStrike had a big old jump. This is CrowdStrike. It jumped up a lot. From they closed yesterday at 298 and it opened today at what's this 350. 60 a 60-point jump. That's a pretty big jump for earnings. And I wanted to look at who was that charge point, CHPT. Then Jamie, you can take over. This was charge point on the daily. Let's go to a 15-minute chart. It didn't really seem to do a whole lot. It had this drop right here. Well, that is a lot. It's a dollar. It went down to a dollar. Did y'all know charge point was a dollar? Oh my. Where has it gone? Charge point dropped down to a dollar 82, but now it seems to be climbing itself back up, and it is at $1.94. That's what happened with charge point. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. Um, Jamie, back to you. Asleen wants to see coin and Exxon.
What all did you do, ma'am?
I did all the other stuff. I did the pre-market on CNBC. I looked at earnings. I looked at the calendar. I looked at the open. I looked at Adam. So
Okay.
you probably can go to charts if you're ready.
I'm logging into Think or Swim.
Okay. I really don't know what would have happened to cause all those issues because
I'm not having this conversation with you on the air.
don't do me. Don't do me. As I tell my children, I'm the mama.
I'm not having this conversation with you on the air. I
I
refuse.
tell my kids I'm the mama, even though I'm not your mother.
Refuse.
I'm their mother, but I'm the mama.
Refuse. I refuse. I'm telling y'all right now, when the zombie apocalypse happened, I want y'all to remember this date. Jamie tried to tell everybody, listen to the tech guys. Nobody listens to the tech
Mm-mm.
guys.
Mm.
We don't want to listen to the tech guys. Watch. You're gonna be getting chewed up by like 2045. Watch.
Please
And
don't say that.
you got to blame Marlissa.
Nope.
Yep. It's gonna start in Florida. Watch.
No.
Yeah, y'all already got alligators down there chewing up
Mm-mm-mm. We do
people.
have alligators
Heck yeah.
everywhere. If you got a bottle of water, you can check because the alligator might be in it.
Dude, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Any water could contain
My
alligators.
friend gonna move down to Tampa, and I was like, "You done lost your mind."
Oh, Tampa's the spot. Very
Yeah,
pretty.
so I hear, but
It's
also it's
very,
alligators down there too.
well, there are alligators there. This is true. Alligators are everywhere down here, though. To be honest,
I ain't doing it. I'm fine with the deer.
actually, the alligators are not the biggest problem anymore. What is the biggest problem now is pythons and boa constrictors. So there's
See,
people who bought them, who buy these snakes because they're really nice. Well, those snakes will continue to grow, so they have them at their house and they're growing and growing inside of their habitat. And the person decides they don't want the snake anymore, so they decide to just let them go into the waterways. They decide, I'm gonna go out here in my boat, drop my snake off, and then nobody's gonna know. And true, nobody will know. But what happens is now the ecosystem, as you like to say, the ecosystem has now gotten imbalanced because there's a lot more snakes than there is food. So the snakes are now starting to fight the alligators, which generally the alligator in the waterways is, kind of in the Florida Everglades and all the waterways, is kind of the king of the beast. He's kind of the top of the food chain. But the snakes have decided that they don't want him to be the top of the food chain. He's not king of the hill no more. So they're starting to kill that. They have started, not starting. They have started killing alligators, and it's thrown off the Everglades ecosystem, which is thrown off the waterway. So now they've got things like, and I'm way down the rabbit hole, but now they've got like professional snake catchers and killers because they have to pull back. The boa constrictors and pythons have taken over, so they've got to help the balance of it. So they have people who are literally being paid to catch and capture the snake, so we can try to get the you know get it back right.
yeah, I'm gonna let y'all have that one. I'm good. I'll focus my energies on avoiding deer and raccoons.
Okay, eating cheese.
Y'all can have the boa constrictors and all that other stuff.
Yep. All
All
right,
right.
take over, dear.
Say it again.
I said go ahead and take over. I'm sorry.
Shout out to Arlissa Pinkleton for holding down the fort today. We will discuss later on her civic disobedience towards the application that we're using. And
The other day when I came in, it didn't cause any problems. Wonder why I did it today.
it did. I always know when you come in, even if I'm not looking, because I hear a pop on my end.
Well, you
Today,
think you're probably hearing the microphone because the other day you were like, I can hear everything you're doing.
them is just yeah. Yeah. The reason I say it's StreamYard is because StreamYard has access to your stuff.
That's true.
You give it permission. So when they get to control your mic and camera and all the other stuff as long as you log in. But anyway, let's move on with our service for this morning. Here's Coinbase before the E2T rapture happened. That was funny when she said that yesterday, by the way. Um, this is Coinbase.
That was funny.
That was hilarious. This is Coinbase on the monthly chart. Coinbase is running up, which should not be a surprise to anybody who follows Bitcoin. Coinbase, BT, Bitfarm, Mara, Riot, they are all in the same Bitcoin space. So it is running up recently. Overall, it is down, but it's definitely got a strong run up with people saying Bitcoin may even crash through 85,000. It's in the low 60s right now, if I'm not mistaken. Um, But as of right now, it is actually coming into a strong monthly support area or support line right here. Looking at this right here where it turned around before. So this is a what I would consider to be a significant time frame on the monthly chart because what happens this month, it could turn back around and come down, or it could continue up. But once it went past this cheer, that kind of gives me the impression that it ain't trying to stay down. But since, like I said, since Bitcoin is running up, that could be a thing to take a look at and be wary of. Um, on the weekly chart, this is a right here. Move this down. So if it decides to come down, the first point that it will likely hit will be in the 175 to 180 range, right in here. Um, so this will be support for that on the weekly chart. Tiny bit of a gap to me. I consider that to be filled already, but there are others who do not. Um, but that first spot that it will hit will probably be in this 176, and then this will be the second one on the weekly chart. So that's where I will be looking at these when I go down to the daily. It again can always head up. So the next one up on the weekly, um, as it continues its rise, it would be somewhere in here, 275 ish, on the weekly chart. And I'm just marking the areas that I see where it could turn around. Um, so that's where I see that that could be a turnaround on the weekly. And now down to our buddy on the daily chart. This is not. This is actually look like it's trying to go sideways a little bit, but this pushed up through that monthly price point that I marked a few minutes ago, and for today's candle anyway, is using that as support. So that's something to watch. This will be considered a retest in many cases. So if this, it can always bounce here and take off and keep pushing up. So do not. I would say be careful on that one. Um, when it comes to Coinbase, but like I said, the way Bitcoin is running right now, um, it would not surprise me if that continues up. I'm marking a gap right now, just so it can. So this was the gap for me. It would be right here. It came push price. The price came down a little bit, so that's why I'm pushing it down some. But regardless, looking at the way it is currently set up, I will be looking at this as a leg in, two in the base, leg out for the buyer zone right here. I will start looking at it from that standpoint. Although, depending on who's charting, you could use this leg in with four of these in the base and a leg out right here. So you could use this as a huge cheer formation right here. Since it did base right there anyway, um, I would even say that this section is even stronger. It'll take a while. It will take a while for it to get through this chunk, in my opinion, because Coinbase is not like it has a huge ATR. Um, let's slide to the left. See what the next daily formation would be. So this is where it would be. This is where it would be currently where we will be looking. I'm gonna put this in as right there. Coinbase, like I said, it's been fluctuating. A lot of stuff has been happening in the Bitcoin space. If you're not familiar with Bitcoin, what's about so let me back up. So this is the seller zone right here. And so it is pushing its way out of the seller zone, or shall I say, the sellers are pushing, pushing the price now. Um, I don't know, man. It ain't got the same force of of pushback. So yeah, that's something to be aware of. Um, but earlier I was saying you could use this if you want to go with this leg in, four in the base, leg out. If you want to use that as your buyer zone, leg in, base, leg out. There's your buyer zone right there. Then seller zone is over here. It has not went all the way through that seller zone yet, but based on so far today, it's still being rejected. So we'll see how that plays out. But that's what I have for right now. The next one above that, to me, is another cheer formation. Um, leg in right here, one, two, three, four, five, five in the base, and the leg out. And yeah, I could definitely see this one being a I could see this one being a weak zone that it may just go right through. Um, just based on how long it stayed there in this chunk. But that'll be the next one up. So I would say sell zone number two, sell zone number one right here, and then back here, I would say leg in, four in the base, leg out as a buyer zone. Or if you wanted to get even closer and have less risk, I would say leg in. This one would be the leg in, two in the base, leg out. Either way, you're taking advantage of this leg out, which is the important part, in my opinion, on coin. I forgot who asked about. I didn't, who asked about coin. Somebody asked about coin. Sizzling. I was gonna ask, is that what Sizzling had charted? But that's what I have charted for that. Any objections, Arlissa? Arlissa, that was for you. I'm not hearing anything. All right. Alyssa's on the phone. Okay, she on the phone. She could have just pointed to the phone and said, "I'm on the phone." Yeah, I see that now. Thank you though, Tamar. Um, this is Exxon. Exxon gets on my nerves. I ain't gonna lie. Um, because right when I think it's going in one direction, it always spins around and does something else. So let me start off. So this is what it's been looking like. It has been on the run up for a while, which shouldn't surprise anybody because the whole thing going on with OPEC and gas and all that other stuff. So they always gonna be making money no matter what they say. But you can see these are these wicks. This means that buyers are really been pushing up. Um, uh, on the monthly chart. Um, so it has been going sideways recently on the monthly chart as well. And really, you could say between like I would say 95 and probably I would say 121. It's kind of been staying between those on the monthly chart. As a matter of fact, what I'll do is this is where it turned around, and we'll just use this one to save some time. So this is where it turned around here, and this is where it has turned around up here on the monthly chart, right? Weekly, and this is what this is one of the reasons why we do top down analysis. What this is one of the reasons why I do it, because technically I could mark this once and say this is the monthly, zone that I see. I don't have to add another weekly one on, because the monthly is stronger than the weekly price point. A lot of us do put more than one line on there, but in theory, you don't necessarily have to. But this is just showing that even on the weekly, it is has been going to the side. It has some room to run, obviously, in order to get up here. Um, and you have a couple choices for. I don't know if I would consider this like a traditional chair formation right here. There's a lot going on right here, but what I can say is in this case, I would be marking somewhere right about here to just emphasize that it has turned around. Like this is where it turned around. This is where it hit this price point more than once. And I will also, you can do it down here. Go right somewhere here. This is where it's turned around before. So it has been support and resistance here and here, and obviously up here. So we can add that in too, and then we'll drop down to the daily. And right, so that's three price areas. Obviously, you can continue to go down, but if you're just looking for where it turned around, that's where I'll be looking. And then we get to here, and this looks like it is really trying to head upwards, which would not be a surprise. Normally, in a formation like this, I'm still going to mark this as a leg in, base, leg out. And so there's one in the base here. This is real ugly, real ugly. Meaning, let me explain what I mean by real ugly. So normally, depending on how you started charting, I'll start it off like that. Normally, we like for this middle candle to be more of a smaller candle, because typically that is going to signify that was indecision. So in this case, the buyers push this up, and normally in this type of formation, this smaller candle is usually a smaller candle in the middle. That means that there was an indecision, and so when that next candle comes out, that can kind of tell you what the direction is going to be, whether it's going up or going down. In this case, I'm marking it as a what's called a reverse U formation or a reverse V formation. But what I don't like about it is the fact that this wick is here, and that wick makes this candle almost as long as the one next to it. So, and what this candle was basically saying, the difference between what it normally says and what it's saying right now is, normally it'll say the buyers pushed up, there's indecision. If this wick wasn't here, like, oh, there was indecision, or let's say the sellers were fighting, but they pretty much won that day, and then we continue down because this was a push down. But on this particular candle, what it's really saying is like the buyers lost this candle, but they definitely pushed back up. This candle right here used to be a full red candle. just like this one was. But the difference is the buyers pushed this back up, and they lost that day. But that's pressure. There was enough pressure coming in here, so they ended up winning. So normally with that middle candle, when it's indecision for that middle candle, that is like a typical standard. I shouldn't use the word standard, but that's what I'm used to seeing in terms of what I usually chart. But in this case, I mean, it is still a workable enough, I guess you could say. Um, but I'm also noticing that this might just be the way Exxon is when it comes to their formations, and this is part of getting to know different stocks kind of trade differently. So this is the seller zone right here. This is the middle candle that I don't really care for. But then here's another seller zone above it, and it has the same type of formation, meaning that middle candle is kind of a large candle. Same here. This is the seller zone, and this middle candle is still like a pretty, the body of it is smaller, but the wicks on the top and the bottom mean that the price really did some traveling on that day. So it could be that that's just the way that Exxon is when it comes to their zones, which isn't bad at all. It's just that if you trade it regularly, that's just something to be aware of. Um, yeah, every like I said, every stock trades differently. Um, Now I will tell you this, and then I'll move on. The other thing that I do notice, even just looking at it briefly here, is that when it gets into the sell zone, where I see it bouncing off is where this turning point was recently too. So this is where the turning, where this is on the daily. This is the daily chart, but these two lines is the monthly and the weekly lines that we put in. And so when price came down, it bounced in the seller zone. It bounced up. The buyers pushed it up, and it still dropped. And even here, the buyers pushed it up off that weekly, and then it still dropped. So this technically would be the turnaround point in here on a daily, though. But so maybe that's just how Exxon is when it comes to its sellers formations. That's possible too. Um, but in terms of a buyer zone, what I would be looking at for them would be, I'll tell you, the strongest buyer zone on the daily is here. That's what I see as the strongest: leg in, base, leg out. That's what I see as the strongest zone. Um, there's obviously a lot happening in this section. So what I will be doing in this section is I will just be marking this as something is definitely happening in here. Yeah, I'll be marking this like this way. So I'll be using this one as the actual zone that I'm charting. And then I'll use this line to say that there's something happening in here. This is this is closer to price, or as close to price as you can get. I really don't consider this a formation that I would chart quite yet. It does have the three, a leg in, two in the base, and a leg out. But this is not what I would say is a traditional formation. So this is not one that I would chart quite yet. I will still be watching this. Another leg may be coming out or going up, but another leg may be coming out and making that a complete formation on this side. So I'll just be marking this, and I would just consider price to be between a buyer zone, a seller zone up here, a buyer zone down here with some possible support in this area. That's how I'll be looking at that. Those will be the yeah, that's how I'll look at that. I definitely would be waiting on this. If I was trying to get into Exxon, I probably would be looking to get I guess 105 would be. So if you are not familiar, what we do to start our investigation on our price, there's one strategy where when you go to the options chain, you can go and you can take the current price and you can add and subtract that from this number over here, which is referred to as the broker. We call it the broker plus minus number. I think it's just called a volatility number. And that could give you an idea of where you might want to start looking to get in. So 106.79 if you're that's and minus 1.78. And then 106.79 plus 1.78. So in this case, I will need to find a strike above 108.57, which is probably going to be 109. And then one below 105.01, which could be 105 or 104. So let's look at that, see what's going on. So if we were to do 105, this is 22 cents or $22, depending on how you like to phrase it. We do credit spreads. This is, I'm using Thinkorswim here. So in this case, you can change your row to we use probability out the money because as sellers you want to be out the money. So what I would be doing in this case, I probably would just go 105. I'll be doing a credit spread 105. That would be paying 12 cents. This is in my SAM, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. For this coming Friday, in this case, there is, I'm gonna put YT for YouTube. In this case, there is a 80.29% chance that this should be a profitable trade. That's what the probability out the money is telling me. There's an 80% chance of me keeping my money. The reason why I'm also going to look above and I'm going to go higher is just because the price is in the middle. Number one, the prices for me and the way I charted it, this price is actually closer to the seller zone. However, in terms of earnings, earnings, in terms of earnings, I don't see any oil companies that are going to be reporting, which can have an impact on price. So because I don't see anything, related to earnings, and then also I think that's a one spread, right? That's a one spread. This number right here is called the RSI, relative strength. And the numbers are typically between, so when it's like, I think, is it 70? When it's 70 or over, that's considered overbought, which doesn't mean that it will come out of the seller zone, but it at least gives you an indication of where it's at in terms of a lot of people buying. Usually people going to take profit. Sometimes that number can get up to 75, 80, 90, whatever, but it's just the gauge that people use to say how overbought it is. And so as of right now, I see this number as being 62, not even 70. So I would feel okay with until Friday, which is 2 days away, I would feel okay with going above this, and I'll be looking at 109. If I was going to do it, I'll be looking at 109. Um, and that's 9 cents. So I would just increase that to 10 cents. And put the order in and just wait for it. Now, when you have a for those of you who may not use this on a regular basis, when you have two trades with the same expiration, one is on in this case, one is a put credit spread, the other is a call credit spread. They both are expiring March 8th. That's called an iron condor. So that is what I just put in. The only thing it does is just allows you to take advantage of your using your collateral more than once. So it's an perfect example of buy one get one basically. So I leveraged $100 on this trade because this is 104 minus 103. So that's that spread. 104 minus 103 is 1. And you multiply that times 100 because it's 100 shares in every contract. And so that's a one spread that's leveraging $100. And then it'll be really it's $100 minus whatever they gave me for my what did they give me for that 12 cents. So 88 cents is really what you're leveraging. Um, so I did another one spread on the other side, and then if it accepts, then that will be I put it in for 10 cents, right? So that'll be what 22. And obviously you got to multiply that by 100 in order to get your dollar amount. But that's what I would do for XM. But it's definitely trying to push up, and it is most definitely um, something to watch. But that's how I would do that. I would just do an iron condor, especially since today is Wednesday. All right. Anything else, Arlissa Pingleton?
Well, no. Not that I heard most of it because I had a phone call, but no, I'm good.
Good morning, Saida.
Yeah,
All right.
Saida joined us this morning.
Um, I guess we didn't look. Did we look at the? So I guess we're done then. Anything else? Nothing else.
Do you know if O Realty is monthly?
I thought it was.
Okay.
Hold on a second. I'll tell you in a minute. But I feel like it. This realty isn't called realty income.
Yeah.
Yep. Let me see. I'm going to finance.yahoo.com, and if you type in the ticker, it'll bring up this a page that looks like this. And if you go to historical data, I usually go right here to time period and put in maximum dividends only for the show me the dividends only, and the frequency is monthly, and then I hit apply, and then it'll let me know. So it is monthly.
Okay. Because every month I see a payment. Okay.
Yep. Man, that seemed kind of don't it seem kind of low for 52 hours? Okay, well, shut up. I mean, it has been increasing this dividend, but a quarter though.
Ours is always monthly. Yep. Just bought more this morning since it's low. Mhm.
Just bought more what? Oh,
Yeah, so Tamara says she just bought some more this morning because it's low.
oh, okay. Well, since you got it like that, um, you know, I mean, QQQY. I mean, you want to loan the brother some sale money. I'd be
Mm,
more than happy to give me a couple.
she didn't say nothing about loaning you any money.
Hey, it's sale money. It don't count.
It's sim money.
It don't count. All right.
Okay. You done?
I guess so.
I
The
know I
way
was
you asked
asking.
me,
No, no, I was just asking because I'm gonna go. I now need to, you know, talk about the challenge and whatever else.
please talk about the challenge and whatever else.
Thank you. Okay, so we have still have our options 411 for newbies challenge is on the horizon for next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Right. If you're a part of my community, we are having our talk tonight. Tomorrow she don't know nothing about send money. We're gonna have our session tonight. I think we're gonna talk about some of the different passive versus active trades. That's what was on my mind this morning. Passive versus active strategies is what we'll speak about this evening. We'll delve into that a little bit. But anyway, options 4 and 1 for newbies is our 3-day challenge. If you got folks y'all pass the word to the peoples, make sure they know we have a challenge coming up. And if you're following me on Facebook and you see stuff that pops up and you see, even though you know about it, you can always comment back underneath my post. That makes Facebook send it to more people. All right. When people engage with the post, Facebook sends it to more folks. If you see me on TikTok or you see my stuff on Twitter or wherever, engage under the post because that makes those platforms, the algorithm will push it if it sees people are engaging with it. Okay. Good morning. Hey, Deanna. Oh, you joined this morning. Hey, good job. Good job. Wonderful. Our E2T membership is always open. It's morning calls, weekly calls, which you're going to have one this evening, our monthly coaching calls. We have our Telegram group, which is a community that we have cultivated that is, I think, a really good community. It's been kind of quiet in our Telegrams here recently, but I know folk is busy. But that's what's going on. If you're a member of the E2T group, then you get access to all those challenges and all that stuff. You get all those things without any extra charge. So that may be motivation to join the membership. That way you can also be in all the other stuff when you do that. Don't forget the Option Sellers course bundle is available. It includes all the stuff we teach, all the strategies I teach, all the things are there. It includes SPX for the day and daily XSP, SPX. It includes, if you're a basic options learner, we got options 411, cash secure puts, cover calls, vertical spreads. The PDT hack is in there. And even if you want to short sale, all that stuff is in the Option Sellers course bundle and you can get that for $497. If you're still hanging out, go ahead and make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you don't miss out on anything that we talking about up in here. You don't want to miss out on any of good Jamie's good technical analysis. Right? Did y'all see the new what's that thing thumbnail? Did y'all see the new thumbnail with Jamie on it? He actually got added to the thumbnail. That's what happens when you're consistently helpful. Hmm.
Is this sarcasm at work here? This feels like sarcasm, man. This really feels like sarcasm.
No, everybody knows you my right hand dude. Everybody knows that.
Mm,
No sarcasm. None at all.
I'm gonna have to talk to
None
your
at all.
kids.
My children, they know there's lots of sarcasm with mama. They already know.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're here to the declaration. I think we're ready to wrap it up. Our E2T declaration. I declare I'm a great trader. I declare I'm a successful trader. I declare I'm a focused trader. I declare my wins exceed my losses. My account's growing more and more each week. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I always make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. I declare I'm a level headed trader who does not trade my emotions. Tamar says, yeah, the thumbnail is cool. Him and his little computer, Mr. Techie Dude. Our prayer, Lord, is you who gives us the power to get wealth. You teach our hands to war with the purpose of establishing your kingdom. Help us today to trade wisely and strategically in order to fulfill this purpose. Give us more than enough so we can have what we need and enough to be a blessing to others. In Jesus' name, amen. All righty. Well, we're going to wrap it up for this morning and get on into the market, see if what we can see. Did anything happen? Did anything of note happen with Powell testifying? I didn't go back to see. Probably should swing back around and see if there's anything that happened with SPX. I really feel like they were setting us up this morning. Let me take this off. Like they was kind of setting us up this morning for a pullback, but that could just be speculation. Could just be speculation. But this is what SPX is looking like right now. Let me put us on the 15-minute chart. Um, yeah, this first candle popped all up, and if you look here, this was a 15-minute chart. We've now broken out of that going down. We're now outside of this 15-minute chart, and we are below that chart going in the downward direction. We're at 5,100 right now, which may be support, but yeah, trade accordingly. Trade accordingly. It's going to go back and fill the gap from this morning because there was a gap that was put on this chart from yesterday to today. That gap is now being filled. Did I put this gap up here? Is that mine? I think it is. I put that there, so I'm gonna move it. Okay. Alrighty, everybody. Again, trade accordingly. As Jamie always says, keep your head on a swivel. Um, look at some credit spreads. Wednesdays are great days for credit spreads. So we got a whole long list of options you can take a check at. And if your credit spread is ready to close it. Don't be holding on for them $2 or $3 on Friday. Your trade can go awry. Close it up if you still like the strikes or like the stock. Put on a different trade, put on another trade, but go ahead and close this one up if you can. All righty. All right, you all, two things. We want to stay green and get this money, right? I want you to have a great green day, and I will see you in the market. Bye, everyone. Goodbye.